In this video, I'm going to show you how to change a battery in this 2006 Audi A4. It can be a little bit trickier than some other cars, but in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it. We just picked up a new battery right here. The one that was in the car was actually a little bit smaller. It wasn't quite the right battery for our car. This one is the right size. Everything is made for this car. This one is definitely heavier than the old one. This piece right here is what holds the battery in. It goes straight down and screws in right there, and it screws down on the lip of the battery, and this holds it in. But we're gonna clean this up because this thread's pretty rusty. You can imagine next time we go to do this, it's probably gonna be more rusty and it'll be really hard to break that loose. Now we're gonna go ahead and clean this up on the wire wheel. Now the bolt's nice and clean. I'm gonna clean up these pieces as well real carefully. There's some rust there. I kind of want to get that gone. So let's go ahead and clean this up. Now we'll go ahead and put anti-seize on this bolt. And this will come out real easy next time we have to do this. So you have to remember how this goes together. This piece, you see this little inset. This is where this little E-clip goes. It clips onto the bolt. That's on the bottom of everything, and this goes on like this. So this can move up and down, and that's what holds the battery in. I'll drop the bolt in place, and I'll take the E-clip and slide this in place. I'll probably need a screwdriver to be able to push it in place. I can't do it by hand. A pair of pliers works to put the E-clip on. And now that holds everything together. Let's go ahead and put this on the car. Now we'll go ahead and drop this into place. Right there is where we want it. I have a long extension with a 6mm hex on the end of it. And then we can go ahead and screw this into place. Now we'll just tighten this up, and it's much smoother than it was before when we cleaned everything up. It slides in nicely with the anti-seize. Now we'll just snug this up. Does not need to be too tight. We just need to hold that battery in. Now if we feel it, that is secure. If we reach in here with a pair of pliers, we can take off this red thing. Now we'll clean up this battery terminal. You can just use a piece of sandpaper if you don't have a special tool that does this. And we'll also clean up the positive side. On the other side of this cleaner, there's a little brush. We can use that to clean the inside of these terminals. Even though this is a new battery as well, it's a good idea to clean it because these connections are very important. If you don't have a special tool to do it, a little piece of sandpaper rolled up works great to clean up the insides here. We're going to use some silicone grease. This is great for ignition systems and battery terminals, so it's basically dielectric grease. It's also good for rubber parts and plastic parts. It won't dissolve them. This silicone grease is really a necessity for a lot of things. We use it everywhere. So I'm just going to take some of this and put it on the battery terminals. More importantly on the sides, you don't really need it on the top. And you also want to get it in the connectors. This will really keep the corrosion down. This stuff will really keep the corrosion down. Whenever it does that, if you've ever seen battery terminals, I've seen them just totally full of corrosion. You can't even start the car when it's that bad. So putting these on here gives it a better connection, and it just keeps the corrosion away. You always want to hook the positive terminal up first, because if you hook the negative up first, then you hook the positive, and whenever you're screwing the positive on and the wrench comes in contact with any kind of metal, it could arc. So you definitely want to make sure you put the positive on first. If I have a little mallet, I can seat that on there a lot better. Now we can go ahead and tighten. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten this in place. And even whenever you're tightening it, it's still good practice not to try to touch any metal anywhere. Just as a good rule of thumb. Now we'll place on the negative terminal. And now we'll put the negative terminal on. And now we can go ahead and tighten this up. And just make sure you aren't touching any metal. Even if you did hit metal on the negative side, since we put the positive on first, it won't arc, but you still want to be careful. Now let's go ahead and start it. So that's how you install a new battery on a 2006 Audi A4. So I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.